I was told once that by my grandmother that, when it comes to being honest, speaking truth, being honest about situations, calling things out. My grandmother taught me a lot. She told me sometimes you gotta learn when to keep a little something to yourself. And I've always found that hard because the truth requires you to be in 100%, not 99.9%. In recent days, I've come across a lot of different people questioning my reasons for speaking about some of the things that I speak about, and specifically, black women. And I really don't know how else to say it. I really don't know a nicer way to put it. I'm just tired. I'm exasperated with the level of complicity and the level of stupidity that it's allowed to thrive in the black community. And when someone like me or other people who see this and say, wait a minute, this is stupid, we get ostracized and looked at like we're the ones that are off. In other words, the mental patients now run the psychiatric ward. If 70% or more, and I'm being very generous with saying 70% or more children are born to black women, and these black children are growing up destroyed, fragmented, disjointed, mentally unstable, and wherever you go for inner cities, in any inner city, you see the same thing. I've stated this numerous times in other videos that I've done. The only corner of the United States I've not been is Southern California. But I've been up and down the Pacific Northwest, stopped at various places on the East Coast, up and down the East Coast, whether it's, a pit stop, get some food stop, use the restroom stop, or I'm someplace on vacation. I see the same thing over and over and over again. And I keep hearing the same thing over and over again. And I've heard it. I'm 33 years old, and I've heard this almost all my life. That the reason why the black community is the way that it is because the black man, the black man refuses to step up. He refuses to take his bat and walk to the plate and face the heat. And though I wouldn't argue against that, I do think as men we have to play more of a pivotal role in the community. But there's one exception. And there's one reason why we're not. And that's because black women. Now, before I go in on it, if you don't fit this description, if you don't fit what I'm talking about, just because I say black women does not mean I'm talking about all. I'm giving descriptions of behaviors. And if you fit it, and if you don't, okay. The reason why the black community is the way it is because of a black woman. It's because this modern female rules the community with an iron grip. I call it the matriarchal matrix. And the reason why I call it that is because they brainwash little black boys and little black girls into playing submissive positions, into being overly emotional, lacking the ability to analyze a situation logically, such as this. Let's flip the table. Let's flip the script. Let's say that 70+% of children, black children, were born to single black fathers. And single black fathers by default got custody of their children by the time the mother gave birth to the child. And let's say we had the same conditions that we have now. Wouldn't it logically make more sense to say, okay, these black men are having all these children. There's no black woman in the house. The government is giving them all types of benefits and making it easy for them to live and get housing. At the same time throwing the black moms in jail if they can't afford to pay child support. Wouldn't someone say, wait a minute, hold on. These black men are the problem. They have all the children, they have custody of the children, they are rearing up these children by themselves. The government is now giving them a cushion or net to fall back on if they can't get a job or don't want to work. Wouldn't we say, hold on, we need to check this? So why is it that it is so taboo and it's so offensive to say we need to check these black women who are in these positions, who are bringing forth life and have no respect for life at all, for the life that they bring forth, could care less. They don't respect the men that they get pregnant by. They typically get these dudes who are out in the street, so their life expectancy is already cut short. They're either going to go to the grave or the cell, or they're going to be in and out of jail. So you're already picking someone who is already at risk for not being there by the time your child that you conceived on a hot, passionate night. You're already in danger of picking a mate who won't be there by the time the child is born. Be it his own doing, or be it because now all of a sudden after that one hot, passionate night, neither one of y'all can stand each other. But yet she's allowed to force that man to be a father. Force that man on child support. Now think about the child. Rewind back to your childhood. Whatever it was, good, bad, indifferent. Remember when you were little? Do you remember? I know I remember. I remember my grandmother. I remember seeing my mother going out the door working all the time because she had 2 jobs trying to support me. I remember my grandmother babysitting me all the time. I remember us watching, Met games. I remember my father not really being there and talking to him every couple of weeks on the phone. But the one fundamental difference was my grandmother. She was the X factor. She made sure that she preached to me the importance of being in my child's life whenever that time would come for me to have a child, to make sure that I would be married. But if it didn't work out, to make sure I stayed involved in that child's life. But what happens when someone is trying to be in a child's life and the mother makes it damn near impossible? What happens then? See, there's a lot of things that can go into it, and there's not enough time in this video that I would even want to take up to talk about it. But there's a lot that goes into it, and a lot of it stems from this feminism, which I utterly hate. Because feminism has told women they could be reckless with their ovaries, they could sleep with who they want to sleep with, and the world has to accept it, or else they are misogynist. Well, after realizing that, for the most part, black people don't want to hear the truth, nor do they want to see it, it's sort of emboldened me more now to really come out and speak out more against some of the things that I see. My wife told me the other day, what does it matter if some black woman is wearing weave and it's not our problem, we have our own problems. I agree, we have our own problems. But one day, them jackasses that she's raising is going to be dealing or come encounter with our child, our children. And they're not going to have the respect that our child or our children have. My son is very well mannered. He says thank you. He says excuse me. Sometimes. But for the most part, he says excuse me. He says I'm sorry. Very respectful. Now tell me how many other black children you've been around that actually does that. My son's only 2 years old. How many other black children older than that does that? And see, we don't want to talk about the black women because we know that we was raised by one. I was raised by one. I was raised by 2. The first 12 years of my life, my grandmother predominantly raised me. My mother worked around the clock. After my grandmother passed, my mother was the sole provider. She had a boyfriend that helped out, But I didn't really have like a father figure in my life. I had to teach myself how to think logically. Some of it came naturally, but other parts of it I had to really teach myself. And I'm just looking at it like this. If black men aren't there, how is it their fault? Who actually has hands-on access to the children? Who are raising these children up to think that it is more important to be overly sexualized than it is to be wise, than it is to be chaste? Can't tell you how many young little girls I saw running up and down the street, and it's like, if I was their father, no way in hell they'd be wearing half the stuff I saw them wearing. No. I would never let my daughter wear half the stuff that they're wearing. Mm-mm. So these parents, these single moms already off the bat, they don't give a damn about their kids. They don't give a damn how they look. They don't give a damn how they look. I seen one woman wear the same outfit 3 days in a row. They've since moved, and I'm so happy. I'm so thankful. Most High answered my prayers. Because they was renting. We have a home. You know, we bought a home here. You know, we don't need no rats moving into the neighborhood. But nobody wants to have an honest discussion about this. I get my sanity question when I question about the behaviors that black women are allowed to get away with. And I'm talking about the ratchet ones, the crazy, the hood rat ones, the ones that just don't care about who they have a baby by. Those are the ones I'm talking about. That's why I said if it doesn't apply, let it fly. You know, just move on. I'm not talking about you. If you agree, show some love and support. Let me know what you think. But if you are one of those people and you get offended by it, then you need to change. You need to turn your life around. Because it's deeper than you. It's deeper than your selfish behaviors. You brought forth a life into this world that can either create or destroy. And right now, the reason why every inner city is the way that it is because you have a lot of black women bringing these children in destructive situations. They're too numerous to even count. I listed some before or early in the video, but they're too numerous. And a lot of these women don't care because they know they can get that check from the government, and that's all these kids mostly are to them. Is a certified payday, money that they don't have to pay back, money that even if it ain't the actual father, if they get a man on child support, they just keep him on child support. It don't matter. And black men, but y'all should never be standing up for none of these chicks. See, this is the thing. Y'all stand up for the wrong chicks. Y'all stand up for the wrong females. Y'all stand up for these hood rat, no good pieces of crap women, instead of standing up for the women who want to build, who want a nation build. But again, if I take the day off work and the building burns down, how is that my fault? I wasn't there. People really need to think about this. If the fathers aren't there, then who's destroying the children? There was a study that I found online from years of 2001 to 2006, and it said 71% of children living with their mother, they didn't really specify on race, but just in general, living with their mother, typically were killed by their mother. And if they were a boy, they were even 2 times more likely to be murdered by their mother than a girl. And we walk around here talking about how women are oppressed and don't have equal rights. That's why I hate feminism. Because feminism ignores everything that females or women do that hurt men. Because in their minds, men are supposed to be able to take it. In their minds, they can spit on men, punch men, kick men, and men have to walk away and say, well, they're a woman, I can't hit them. And I say, if you want them equal rights, you gotta take them equal lefts that come along with it. But either way, this is just a long, short video. Just some thoughts are just flying through my head right now, because I'm really just disheartened that when I look at the conditions of black folks, especially the black children, that's what really hurt my heart. Because I really don't give a damn about you pieces of crap, black men and women who don't do nothing but ruin your children. I care more about those children that you're ruining, because they didn't ask to come here. They're innocent in all this. And Y'all don't care. Because y'all selfish. He wanted to get a nut, you wanted to get a check. In the meantime, you brought forth a life you don't give a damn about. And then you wonder why these children walk around not giving a damn. A child that's not loved is a child that's damn sure gonna kill when he gets older. It's facts.